Hello friends, now today I am going to talk about a very new topic, that is transgender or the third gender. Before discussing the different aspects under this topic, the very first question arises that what is the definition of transgender or who are transgender? So that the definition will be in the legal terms as per the Transgender Act 2019, that it includes the people whose gender which has been assigned at the time of birth does not match to his identity. And it also includes the people with intersex variation, that is gay, lesbian, etc. And it also includes the different social terms which you might have heard, that is the hijras and the kinnan. So it comes to a conclusion that the definition of the transgender in India is very wide. Now, after understanding the transgender or the definition of the transgender, we will understand that what is the status of their recognition. So they are recognized constitutionally and legally also. So whenever I am telling constitutionally, it means that there is two important Supreme Court cases that recognizes them as, or you can say that recognizes them as a third gender. The very first thing is Nalsa judgment. And in the Nalsa judgment, the Supreme Court has given them right for the self-identification. And in Naute Johar judgment, the Supreme Court has struck down section 377 of IPC, which criminalizes the same-sex people. Understood? And based on two judgments, they are now recognized as per Article 14, 15, 19 and 21 of the Indian Constitution. If you will see globally, then again there is a very important principle which recognizes their rights, that is Yogya Karta principle. And in this particular principle, it is being recognized that they must be legally protected and they must be legally recognized by a country. Then there is a right to free them from poverty and social exclusion, poverty and sexual exclusion. They have a right for their bodily and mental autonomy. These are the different rights which has been recognized under Yogya Karta principle, and you can say that the Supreme Court has also recognized all these rights which has been already imbibed in this Yogya Karta principle. You can use this for your value addition in the mains answer writing. Now the second thing which we will talk about is the legal recognition of the transgender. So we all know that we have Transgender Act 2019. So first we will understand the different features, and then we will see that what are the criticism of the different clauses in the. So very first thing is definition, which I had discussed in the first slide. The problem here is the definition is very wide and it includes gay and lesbian also. However, if you will see internationally, then they are very different from the transgender or from the definition of the transgender. The second is identity. The act says that they will be identified or they will be given the certification of, or they will be given certificate of identification of the transgender by the district magistrate. So the criticism here is that it is against the Nalsa judgment, where the Supreme Court has talked about the self-identification of the transgender. Third is there should not be any discrimination in the terms of their employment and in the terms of their education. And also there should not be any discrimination in the terms of any kind of abuse, sexual and physical abuse. But if you will see, then the act is silent on the civil rights like their marriage rights or abortion or adoption rights, and it is also awarding only 2 years maximum of imprisonment in case of sexual abuse. So the question is that when a woman is sexually harassed, then the minimum punishment is of 7 years. Then why in the case of transgender, the minimum punishment is of 6 months and maximum is of 2 years only? This is one of the criticisms. And the last one is that they have a right to reside at their homes only with their siblings, but we should know that they are the main reason for the abuse, physical abuse of the transgender. Then the focus should be on having more and more shelter homes for them, and they should enjoy their life among their community members. Only then they can enjoy the life joyfully. Clear? So this is the constitutional and the legal protection or the legal aspect of the transgender. Now, what are the different challenges even after their recognition they are facing? The very first is socioeconomic challenges. And under the socioeconomic challenges, the very first thing is marginalization and their discrimination. If you will see, then they are being discriminated at educational institute, they are being discriminated at their workplaces, and there is a data which you can use in your examination that the literacy level amongst the transgender is only 46%, though the national average is 73%. In the terms of workplace discrimination, according to NHRC, 96% of the transgender are facing any kind of abuse at their workplaces, so they are forced to work as an act of begging. Then education, we have discussed about the problem of their education. Marginalization in the terms of that they are the victim of sexism, ट्रांसफोबिक सोसाइटी, हम लोग हमेशा उनको गलत नजरों से देखते हैं, ट्रांसफोबिक सोसाइटी. देन हेल्थ केयर, because of the lack of finances, because of the lack of healthcare clinics for them, you will see, and also they don't want to come in the public and they are involved in certain kind of sexual activities, or you can say they are involved in prostitution. So the AIDS amongst them has been found that 3.1% of HIV AIDS is amongst the transgender. Along with this, if you will see, then mental disorder has also been found among them because of the social pressures. And also it is because of the social pressure they are taking a drug. So they are the victim of the drug abuse also. So these are the socio-economic problems that they are facing. Now politics. Political challenges is, the very first thing is under-representation. If you will see their presentation in Lok Sabha or in the Rajya Sabha or in the state legislative assembly, then it is nil. Then they are not exercising their voting power also, and only 8% of the transgender are registered as the voter, and only 1% have exercised their rights. So these are the different problems or the challenges that the transgender are facing. Now, what are the steps that the government has taken? The very first thing is National Council for the Transgender Person has been constituted by Ministry of Social Justice and empowerment as per the Transgender Act 2019, so that to make a policy which is inclusive, so that to make a policy after the participation of the transgender itself. Then the best practices have been adopted by the different states. For example, Odisha is the first state where you will see that they are getting food grains under the National Food Security Act. Whether you will see that they are getting access to the educational institutions. Then in Karnataka, you will see that the government has provided 1% reservation for them in the government jobs. Then you will see that in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, there is a transgender justice board for them. And for making inclusive or to include the transgender, government has come with the scheme that is a smile scheme. And under this, the government is providing them skill so that they can be employable. Now, socio-economic measures have also been taken for them in the terms of shelter homes, which is being set up by the government. And also, whenever we are talking about the socio-economic, then the smile scheme, and under the smile scheme, there is a PM Daksh scheme for them. For employment, Manrega is basically involving now the transgender in the work. So these are the things which has been done for the transgender. But now what more can be done, because we have seen that the societal challenges is far more for the transgender. So we should focus upon the inclusive economic inclusion, and therefore we should focus upon the involvement of the transgender in a startup and in setting entrepreneurship for them, involving them in the, you can say that the involving them in the primary sector, involving them in the you can say more of labor intensive industries. Rehabilitation, we should focus upon more and more shelter homes for them so that they can live with their community happily. Then learning from the global best practices. For example, Netherlands has deleted the column of any kind of gender from the national document. And then we can also mention the Darlington Statement of Australia and New Zealand, that is talking about the free movement of the transgender itself. So these are the things which can be done in the terms of the inclusiveness and the equitable opportunities for the transgender. So that's all about the transgender. If any question comes in 10 marker or 15 marker, you can easily address by adding some value to your answer, that is the different Supreme Court cases, that is the different schemes, that is the Darlington Statement, that is the best practices which I have discussed with you. So that's all about the today's video. Thanks to all of you.